Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel. My name is Greta Hansi and I'm a Nigerian currently living in Edmonton, Alberta as a permanent resident. So today, like I mentioned in my last video, I shall be talking about, like the title already states, the step-by-step process of how to relocate to Canada using the express entry route. I know that from the very first time I started sharing videos, people have been reaching out to me that how did you do it? I've been trying this, I've been trying to do this thing, I've tried the study route, but it's so expensive. And I tell them, don't worry, just watch out for this video. Now here is the video. Please sit back, relax, do not forget to subscribe. Please like, share, engage with me in the comment section as I'll be responding to all of your comments. Now sit back, let's start the video. First, we shall be talking about the different ways of relocating to Canada. You have the study route, you have the express entry route, which I used, and you also have the provincial nomination route. The provincial nomination is somewhat tied to the express entry, but for me, I used the direct express entry, the federal, which is like under the federal government, and with that, I wasn't required to stay in a particular province. I had the chance or the choice of staying in any province that I wanted to. So what's the express entry system? The express entry is a point-based system where candidates are ranked based on some certain criteria, and the candidates, when they want to draw, probably they want to draw like 3,000 persons for one particular draw, and the 3,000th person has 500, so they will now make the minimum score or the score for that draw 500. That's how it goes. You're ranked based on your age, your experience, your education, the level of education, and your language skills. So that's why people take the ielts, and for those that speak French, they also take the French test. So now, the first thing I would say about starting this journey is having a ready mind, having a will in mind. You know, there's a tendency of saying, okay, this is the end thing, now let me also try it. First, you have to be sure that it's really what you want. Have a ready mind, a willing mind, because it's not just about relocating, but it's about living in the new place. And sincerely, you need to be emotionally and mentally ready, both to start the journey, to go through the process, and also to live in a new country, no crowd following. And another thing, like I'll tell people, is owning one's journey. You need to own your journey. You need to research, to be able to research. I know some people will say, oh, I don't have time, I'll look for someone, but you need to have an in-depth understanding of what you're doing, what the process is all about, so that you're not just being told, okay, this is the next thing we'll be doing, this is the next thing we'll be doing. You already know that this is how it's supposed to go, and if there is anything that is wrong, you are able to ask questions, and you should also be able to research. Guys, I cannot overemphasize this. You need to be able to research. So that I don't dwell too much on this, let's just go right into it, what you'll be needing. Now, the first thing you need to do once you make up your mind that, okay, I would need to go into this, is to simulate your score. There's something they call CRS calculator, which helps one to determine what level or the advantage the person will have, what level the person will have as regards this express entry system. So now, when you have for the CRS simulator, you just assume scores. Like they'll ask you your age, your level of education, and if you have evaluated your degree. Yes, because you're just simulating, you can put there that you have evaluated your degree, and they would ask you if you've taken an English test, and if the test is less than 2 years, because it expires after 2 years, and you would say yes. So what I always tell people is try to select the highest scores and just assume that you will study very hard to pass this exam and to max out, which gives you the maximum score for language skills. So just select that. I'll be sharing the CRS calculator link on in the description box of this video, so just watch out for it. You just use it, answer the questions there, and it will tell you what your score, what you're likely going to score if you will join the pool. That gives you an idea of where you will stand in comparison to what the current scores are. what's the current score. The last score was about 560 something, which is very, very high, trust me. And that's where other things working towards improving your score comes into place. Now, after determining what planning, thinking about the financial aspects, which I will be doing another video that talks about the finance, the cost of relocation. After determining all of those things, the next thing you would need to do is to evaluate your degree. Now, the people would actually advise that you do this first, because it takes a while before it comes back, especially when you consider the Nigerian university factor, applying for your transcripts. So it's best to start with the WES, the credential evaluation, before you go ahead to do your IELTS. Now, when you apply for NCWES, I'll also leave the link for the link to WES website in the description box for those of you that would want to check it out. When you apply to WES, after making payments, you would be given a reference code, which you will take to your school for them to process your transcripts and send directly to WES. You cannot send your transcript to WES by yourself. The school has to send it to them directly. These days, it can be sent electronically, or if they still use the courier method, it has to be stamped by the school. Now, if you have two or more certificates, you can use those. You can use two or more certificates, because that improves your score, unlike just evaluating one degree, which is BSc. I really cannot say so much about the people that just have HND in this video, but maybe I'll do more research on that and make another video concern for people that have HND. I would want to look into that aspect. So if you have a master's degree, you will be required to evaluate just your master's degree. So the higher the degree, it's just the highest degree you are expected to evaluate, and masters gives more points than even two or more certificates. So big ups to the people who have a master's degree. Then the next thing you would need to do is to write your IELTS exam. Yes, some people would say, is it not just English? While others have great fear for this particular exam. Guys, it's English, yes, but it's English in a tricky way. So I would advise that you study very hard for the exam. Just try to max out. Max out means that you're getting the maximum score for all the competencies. You can go to British Council, or I think IDP in Nigeria. In Lagos, they also offer the test. Just see what the score range is like, so you would know what's your target score for each competence. For IELTS, I would say for listening takes more scores. Like, how do I explain this now? So if you score anything less than an 8 in listening, you can lose as much as 40 something points. So if you're targeting the maximum score in listening, you should target 8.5. If you want to fall, you should fall to 8, nothing lower than 8, else you will lose about 40 something points. So just target the maximum scores for all the competencies. Now, another thing you should consider, these are actually the two important things you need to create a profile, but you also need to determine your NOC. NOC means National Occupation and Classification. They classify jobs into different NOCs, if I can put it that way. Now, you need to determine what NOC and the code that is linked to what you are doing, because there are some NOCs that you cannot use for this express entry system. There are some job titles you cannot use for this express entry system because they do not meet the requirements, if I can put it like that. So it's necessary you determine your NOC, and you're required to have at least 1 year of experience in a particular job. You can have like two jobs, like two different jobs with two different titles. As long as they are eligible, you can use them both, but as long as they meet the minimum requirements as regards the number of years that is required. Now, the maximum number of years to give you the maximum point is 3 years. So if you have more than 3 years of work experience, that gives you the maximum point for work experience. Now, you have all of these, the WES, the IELTS, and you have determined your score. Then you get into the pool. You create a profile. The site is online, it's there, information, there's so many information out there. But if you want the link to create a profile, you can just send me a message, just drop a comment in the comment section, and I'll respond to that. Now, one good thing about the express entry the current state of the express entry system, it favors particular set of people right now because the scores are very high. Now, you see, I talked about the provincial nomination. I would come to that. Let's talk about the category-based jurors. In July of 2022, Canada started this category-based jurors because they felt that, okay, they needed a particular set of people, and those people were not getting invitation to apply, maybe because of their scores. They had to create different categories for them. Now, you have category for healthcare, you have the French-based category, you have the Greek-based category, you have the STEM for IT people, STEM-based category, and you have the transport category. Now you have different NOCs, job classification, job titles that are linked to these different categories. I'll also be dropping the link to all of these categories so that you just take out time to check if what you do is part of these different categories. Trust me, these category is a lifesaver for so many people. For me, if you've watched my last video where I talked about my journey, you'd see that my journey took about 4 years. I know some people that that's not always the case. I know some people that even studying the French, it only took them 1 year to study the French. They took the test, they passed, thanks be to God, and they were able to complete the process in about a year and a half, 2 years. I know some people that didn't even need to take French because they have a particular skill that is in one of these categories. They were favored, and you see someone just starting this journey, creating a profile in about 6 months, the person has already completed the journey. So that's the beauty of this category-based job. So just look into it. If you are into healthcare, have something that's related, they take as much as healthcare health and caregivers. Like if they call them nurse orderlies, these healthcare workers that are not nurses, they are not doctors or whatever, they take them. Those people are also eligible. So if you are into the healthcare and you know that, just go through the link and see if your job title is part of what the job titles or the NOCs that are eligible for this healthcare job, for this French-based French category, the transport, the STEM, the IT people. Canada is really big on IT. Just look at it, and before you know, you can just start the process, and you are done in a matter of time. That's the beauty of the health of this category-based jobs. It's been saving lives since July 2022. My ITA, I got invitation to apply through the healthcare category-based job. I'm not through one of the healthcare jobs. I'm not into healthcare like that. But what I did while my field while in Nigeria and the industry where I worked in while in Nigeria was part of the healthcare NOCs, were part of the occupations eligible for the healthcare job, and that was how I got my ITA. Now, if I had not gotten under healthcare, I would have also gotten under French. That's also the beauty of learning the French language, and I'll be doing another video concerning studying French for the purpose of immigrating to Canada. French will always be a biggie in the Canadian immigration. It has always been since they started, I think in 2020, and it will continue to be. Now let's talk about the provincial nomination. You have people have also the option of provincial nomination. Probably if you have what a particular province wants. I know like Ontario, they go to the poll from time to time and take healthcare workers and also STEM workers, as IT people. As the last draw for healthcare was, they've gone as low as 300 and something. So pick healthcare workers. That's the beauty of some of these provinces, and they give you a nomination of interest. You apply, and when they go through your application, if it's okay, they nominate you and you get 600 points. Imagine having 400 before. That wasn't close to anything like 500, which is the current draw range now, and you get an additional 600 points from the province. That gives you 1,000 point, you are sure to get invitation to apply in the next draw. But one thing is that you must reside in this province for, I think, at least 2 years before you can leave. And if there's anything that wants to make you leave, you would have to prove, maybe because you're not getting a job, you would have to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that you have tried to get a job, from what I have learned during the process. You also have Saskatchewan, or maybe if you have a sibling in Saskatchewan, imagine you having a sibling in Saskatchewan or a province like Manitoba or which other, or Alberta. They favor people that have siblings, these provinces. Now, these ones give you additional points. So just look, okay, where do I have which option, where do I have an advantage? That's why I said study, make a research, and see where you have the upper hand and go for it if it's something you want to go for. Like people will say Canada isn't heaven, Canada isn't a bed of roses, you would have to work here and all of that. But if it's something you want to do, just research, go pray about it, and look right into it. Now, one thing I would always say is that you have tons of information available online. Guys, use the information available online. Join groups. There are free Telegram groups. Trust me, from the moment I applied, I joined the express entry, created a profile, to the moment I was working on my French and all of that, I just kept getting information from YouTube. There are lots of channels on YouTube you can get information from, Instagram and all of that, Telegram. When I got my invitation to apply, I never paid a dime to put my documents together. All information was available online on Telegram. A friend of mine was telling me that as I think about 2 years ago, she has a friend that got invitation to apply. And do you know how much she paid for her to be able to submit her application? 1 million naira. There was a group she joined on Facebook, and they told them that to help them submit the application, because after you get invitation to apply, you would have to put your application together, your finance, your police report, and all of that. They were asked to pay 1 million naira, and a true story, for them to be able to help them put the application together and not to make a mistake. And see, there are lots of information online. It's just for you to study, and you will not make any mistake. Now, lest I forget, for the West, I missed this. If you are applying for West, if you're creating a profile for West, make sure what you're applying for is the immigration and refugee something. Make sure it's for the purpose of immigrating to Canada. They have the step-by-step evaluation, which is for study. They also have the evaluation for immigration, which is for the ircc. Now, because after when I was putting my application together, there's this group we belong to for the people that got their ITA in July and August. And now there was this woman that she rushed to submit because her French result was going to expire, and she didn't want it to expire before she submitted, else she'll be required to write another one. Now, do you know, about a month later, she dropped a message that her application was refused, because first they'll go through the process of ensuring that you've submitted things the way you're supposed to submit them. If not, your application will be sent back and your money will be paid back to you. What happened? It was discovered that her husband's West was for the purpose of study, step-by-step evaluation, and not for immigration. Guys, a mistake as that, like after waiting 2 years in the pool and you get invitation to apply, you get rejected and you have to now start all over again. So there are lots of information online. All you just need to do is to join all of these groups. If you want the Telegram group, you can just drop a comment and I would give you the link. There are lots of information. Join this group. You have pinned posts. Go through the pinned posts for any group you join. Go through all the pinned posts. Study it very well before you start asking questions. I know some people can just join a group and they'll say, "Oh, please, I'm interested. What do I do?" And they tell you, go through the pinned posts, and you say, "Okay, well, I don't have time to go through the pinned posts." Guys, if you want this thing, you have to work at it. You would have to read. You would have to research. You would have to study. You know, most times it asks me when I'm on Facebook and they're talking about something, and they say, if you're interested, click on the link, and you just see people's comments. "I am interested, please. I am interested, please." Come on. They said if you're interested, click on the link and learn more about it. So if you want something, you would have to work at it. Guys, also we have when you get into the pool and let's say the current jurors are reading from 500 and above, and you don't even know, because sincerely one does not even know now when the jurors will come down to for the 400 level. What you don't do, because you're already in the pool, is now to determine what ways you can improve your score, and that's where the option of going to learn French comes into play, or seeing if you have a family member. For those that do not have a family member, for myself, I am the first generation from my family coming to Canada, so that was I had to say, okay, I do not have anybody to help me. What do? Let me go the French way rather than pursuing a master's. These days we even see that people that have a master's and that are younger than 30, they do not, they are unable to even meet the 500 score range. So that's when people start thinking, okay, should I go do another language? Should I go study French? If that's what you want to do, you have to also research how to go about that. I'll also, like I said, I'll be doing the cost of relocation and be adding what it cost me to learn French, to take the exam, because it wasn't cheap. That's another thing people look into. Now for the age, lest I forget to talk about the age, this system favors, I would say, people that are in their 20s, because when you get to 30, you start losing points. Now imagine when you know that you're already 30, 31, 32, 33 and above, and you know that you have lost so many points, you cannot get the maximum point for age again. What do? Even if you have a PhD, you have already lost some points. So what do? You now look for other ways to improve your score. If it's something you really want to go into, something you really want to do, because from 29 you get the maximum score for age, but once you clock 30, you lose 5 points. You clock 31, you lose another 5 points. You clock 32, you lose another 5 points. You just keep losing points to age like that. Yeah, it favors a younger generation, but you have to just sit down to consider, what are my chances, what are my advantages, what's the advantage I have that I can use. Is it the category based jurors? Look at, just watch this video, follow through with what I have said as regards the category based jurors. If the category based jurors favors you, if you are into one of these job classifications, just go right into it, research more. The scores for this category based jobs are not so high. During my time when the healthcare job was done, it was about 460 something. So you see the healthcare job has gone as low as 440 something, if I am correct. Yes, even French jobs have gone as low as 300 and something. That was a mind-blowing job. Like, we were really surprised. So just make your research. Like I said, research is a big thing in this journey. Research. What chance do I stand? What's my greatest advantage? What can I do to improve myself in case I really want to go into this? Because for some people, it's not easy to go through the study route. Recently, they just increased the living expense a student is required to have. That's 20,000 Canadian dollars minus your school fees. Now imagine if you're going for a 2-year program, you have to ensure that you can prove you can pay the school fees for the 2 years and your living expenses for the 2 years, which will now be $20,000 for living expenses times 2 years, which makes it $40,000. Guys, relocation is getting more expensive, sincerely. But just sit down, count the costs if it's something you want to go into. And again, the very most important thing is God first. Is this really what God wants me to do? God all the way, and God even to the end of the journey. I hope all of this video was worth your while and worth your time. If I didn't answer any question, maybe if you have any concern about what I've said and you want to ask for the questions, just drop your questions in the comment section and I'll be sure to respond to them. And if you want me to share any link, probably I missed sharing, or you cannot access any of the links I'll be sharing, please let me know in the comment section and I would respond to you. I'll be sure to respond to you. The next video you'll be seeing would be And next, I'll be doing a video about the cost of relocation. Yes, we all want to relocate, but it's a Herculean tax. Studying is expensive. I tried it and I saw that it was expensive. I gained admission. I had to backtrack and decided to focus more on permanent resident because there are benefits of being a permanent resident and not having to think or worry about paying school fees. So guys, watch out for that video. Any other video you would want me to do, just put in the comment section and I'll look into doing that. Thank you so very much guys for staying tuned, for joining me on this journey. Until I come back, till the next time, bye bye for now.